Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. I don't know how my sleeve pulled itself all the way out of here. Let's get started. Oh my goodness. I've just been having all these wardrobe malfunctions, just not even like on my videos, just in general in life. Everything's, I don't know what's going on. All right, let's see. So we have the Ace of Discs, or Pentacles or Panicles or whatever. I know some of you cannot stand when somebody calls them discs, but we do. We have the Ace of Discs. Wonderful, wonderful energy, right? Especially this time of year. We're all feeling the financial burdens of the holidays, well, if you're in the southern hemisphere, summer, high summer, right? The cost of cooling, the cost of food, of maybe you're going on a little holiday or whatever is going on. It's expensive. Now here in the northern hemisphere, of course, we have the heating and, I don't know. Wherever you are in the northern hemisphere, hopefully your groceries are not costing as much as they are here in the U.S. because they are very expensive. But basically, right, everybody's feeling it right now. So to have this energy of the material world, the Malkuthian kingdom kind of activating and coming to your assistance, that's a wonderful thing. And definitely happy to see that. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to tap this. We're going to pick it up. We're going to take a look, see what the tea leaves are going to tell us. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Okay, so I want to start up here. This is going to be a couple different things. First, I want to look at, we have a person standing here, you can see, and with the head and the body, maybe holding a baby, something like this. Now, we also have another person over here who looks like they're wearing maybe like a robe. You can see kind of the bottom here and then the arm up. It looks like they're looking in a mirror. And we have another person over here who kind of looks like they're maybe part of the situation, but not directly in the mix. And then we'll take a look at this in just a minute, okay? So I just really get this vibe that there's almost kind of a masculine energy that is very vain. This is somebody who is like 100% concerned about their image, 100% concerned about maybe their career, their love life, their social life, these kinds of things. They're very much based in the physical world, right? This is somebody who absolutely everything is kind of about what's happening in their waking life. And I feel like this is maybe somebody that I almost wonder if it is a spouse or like somebody you had a child with, or maybe I'm thinking like, is it a brother? Is it a father figure? Not really. I feel like this is like somebody I almost feel like it's like somebody that you wanted to be closer with, and it was just impossible to get to that point because they were so wrapped up in their own stuff. Like, you know, they like maybe they worked and helped pay the bills and all that kind of stuff, but then it's like they're up out of there as soon as work's done. They're out with their friends, you know, down at the, you know, like local bar or something, or they're out playing softball, or I don't know, you know, like just gone, finding reasons to not be at home. And not just because they didn't want to be home, but because they're very concerned about their place in the community and how they're received and how they fit into all of that. And for you, and I don't know that this is actually like you had a child together, but I do feel like there's there was a desire, or there is a desire. I mean, you might be in this situation right now, but a desire to have this family unit, to be close, to be, you know, wrapped up in your little world together, to be, you know, that is the concern, not all this other stuff, not what, you know, Linda Lou from down the way, what she thinks, or, you know, old Johnny down at the tire shop, or, you know, whatever, whatever it is. Who cares? You know, of course, wish them well. They're community members. They're people you've probably lived near forever, maybe even grown up with. But who cares what they think? You know? And I think for you, this really was so corrosive to your relationship because you couldn't understand how can you prioritize everything out there and not what's happening in our home here, our family growing, our, you know, life together. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be that they were out in the world running around. It could also be that this is a person that is, perpetually online. And this is like the modern invention, right? Or almost kind of curse that we have created for ourselves. But, you know, if you talk to anybody who is under, I don't know, 50 years old, you will hear from them that they at least know somebody who has had a relationship with somebody who is addicted to social media, addicted to being online. Absolutely so concerned about, you know, how they appear to other people they don't even know, right? People they probably will never meet. Yeah. But it is, you know, and I even myself fall into this thing, you know. Even I've had people ask, why don't you like to be in front of the camera? Why don't you film yourself while you're doing your readings? Now, it's not exactly that I care what people think, although, you know, we all kind of do, but I don't feel comfortable, you know, and I think a lot of it is the just growing up around the internet and seeing how, you know, cruel people can be. Yeah, for me, I would get fixated on that. Every negative comment, it would just destroy me. And that's just really what it is, you know, and I personally don't feel like I need to fortify myself in that, you know, sector of being. So we do it like this. But, you know, I think that this is not an uncommon worry. And I think for some people, instead of maybe trying to learn to have like a healthy relationship with their time online and, you know, how they're perceived and all that, it's almost kind of like you double down, right? And then you're in there like trying to like, you know, you become like the ultimate photographer, the ultimate like graphic design toucher-upper of pictures and stuff, because so worried about what the internet thinks, what these people think, you know. And I can imagine being the spouse or in a relationship with somebody where that's where all their energy is going. Whew, that would be really difficult. So I feel like in this situation, it was like, I have to walk away from this. This is not, I'm not trying to live like this. I'm not trying to live around this energy. And really, ultimately, I see, if it hasn't happened already, I see another person in the picture. And I see you having that family energy with them. Okay, now does that mean you're going to have kids with them, or they're going to help you raise the kids you have? Or maybe you have some kitty cats, some little puppies, you know, all that kind of thing. Maybe you just like to be together. This is like, you know, maybe you're post raising kids, post raising grandkids. And now you're just looking for that companion to enjoy the rest of your life with. And I feel like that is in the cards for you, or in this case, in the tea, right? And so, yes, I do. I feel like it all works out. And you know what? I am almost under the impression that this has already come to pass. Like, you're nodding your head, and yeah, I did find my person. And yes, it did take a long time, and that's okay, right? I mean, I shouldn't like call her out, but I'm sure she wouldn't mind because she does love her husband so much. But my acquired mom and my acquired dad, they met when they were in their 40s, right? I mean, almost 50, I think. And they have the best relationship that I've ever seen. And so looking at that, it reminded me, you know what? Sometimes it takes a while to find your person. I didn't meet my husband until I was, you know, in my mid-30s. You know? I know that's not old by any means, but, you know, I had thought, no, I'm just going to be alone. You know, my first husband, he passed away tragically from a health issue that we didn't know that he had. And then I thought I'd be alone for the rest of my life, you know, and I was totally resolved to that, but you never know. So here's the thing. I see a lot of happiness for you. I see your life going the way that you had imagined it. Now, is it on the same timeline that you had hoped? Maybe not. But isn't that kind of the joke of the cosmos, right? The universal kind of trickster. You'll get it. You just won't get it the way that you thought you were going to, right? And so I feel like this really is, and here's where we're going to get a little cheesy. I know. But God, right? And this is kind of the lowercase g, but God, right? This is a God moment. This is a God thing. Now, you might not call the divine God, but this is a placeholder, okay? It's just a name for the divine. You might not be a theistic person at all, and that's fine, and I'm glad you're here. But whatever this unknown energy is, if this is the patterns in the universe, if this is a conscious, all-powerful being that lives, out there somewhere beyond the clouds, if this is something that you are emitting from yourself, whatever it is a God thing, okay? And it is here for you. And it is the thing that's turning the wheel in your favor. And so embrace this time, okay? Because this is maybe the beginning of one of the best times in your life. And I don't say that lightly, but I do believe it. Now, I want to go over here because we have a person who is, it looks like to me, planting stuff. And so I feel like, and this is very much with the Ace of Discs energy. I feel like this is a time where you really need to invest in your dreams. I don't just mean money, okay? I mean really putting in the work, okay? getting motivated, finding your motivation. Okay, I already know you have the ideas, you know what you want to do, you know, you even maybe have like a whole business plan, or, you know, your goals for the next 5 years. You have it planned out. Of course you do, you're a Sagittarius. But here is where it's like you really got to push yourself. This is where it really matters. Now, I've been doing indoor bike riding, right? Like on a recumbent bike. And there's this program I'm using to do it. And it gives you little like tips, like drink a sip of water, or, you know, here, get ready, you're going to have to push hard. And it's always talking about like when you're doing the sprint part where you're pedaling real fast, real hard. And then you're like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But then on the screen, it says, this is where you're going to get your gains, right? This is where we're going to gain some momentum. This is where the change that you really want to see in your life, this is where it's going to happen. This is where you have to show up for yourself. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to fix our lives for us. Nobody's going to save us. No, you know, that God energy, definitely there. That divinity, that, you know, the cosmos watching out for us. Yes, all true, but we have to partake in our own lives. We have to show up for ourselves. And I see you getting that wind beneath your wings, right? I see you lighting that fire of inspiration and the motivation coming, okay? So put your all into it, because this next period of time is, I mean, it feels very blessed for you, okay? And this is going to be something that I feel like ends up really kind of taking hold, right? So if you are starting a business, if you are starting a side hustle, I was just talking to a lady the other day. She's on, I know, I don't get paid for talking about these places or these apps and stuff, but I'm going to say it anyways. But I was talking to this lady the other day. She has kids at the same school as my sister, as my daughter. And she just started doing Rover. I think that's what it's called, Rover. Like, you know, I don't know, like a year ago, she said. And it's like walking dogs, and when people go out of town, you go and feed the animals or boarding animals and stuff like that. And so she was telling me that at first she thought, oh, I'll make a few bucks, I'll get some Christmas money going. And lo and behold, she's almost, you know, got her own business put together now, because she's made all these clients. There's a lot of, you know, we're rural, so there's not a lot of people doing this kind of work. And just talking to somebody that's so excited about what they're doing, and it started out as just like this kind of a whim, right? Like, oh, I needed a dog sitter, so I couldn't find one. I thought, well, maybe I'll provide this service to people, because there's not really anybody in the market here. And yeah, and it has really done something. It's getting some traction. And I feel like this is a similar story for you. Now, you might not be walking dogs, or, you know, whatever, driving for Uber, or whatever, you know, these kinds of things are. But maybe you are. Maybe this is like that entranceway into the next room of, yeah, you building your own thing. And so I really do. I feel like where you have maybe wavered a little bit about, is it worth it? Maybe I'm just going to waste my time, or I don't feel like doing it. This is the time to really lock in. This is the time to get yourself moving. This is the time to believe in those silly dreams. Okay? And I'm here to tell you, it pays off. Okay? Now, I know I've been lucky, and my husband, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, I know he shared on his channel quite a bit about us going from being, you know, working basically entry-level jobs through most of our adult life to having successful businesses now. And really, I mean, and I can tell you, even like when my husband said, oh, I'm going to start doing tarot readings professionally or on YouTube as well, and, you know, whatever, as it began to become this more complex thing. And I thought, oh, cool. Well, that's, you know, that's cool. I hope that works for you and you enjoy it. And, you know, I didn't really know what to think. I didn't really, I mean, I knew people could make money doing it, but I never knew, like, you know. And taking that leap of faith, right? Finding it within yourself to be like, okay, we're going to do this. I remember my husband, he started to get his thing together and get the set together. And I think the first thing we had to get was like either a computer or like, or it was one of our first cameras or whatever it was. And I remember it was something like, I don't know, it was, you know, like $300 or $400. That was a big deal. It's a big deal to buy something, you know, that expensive. And I remember my husband being like, or Paul, I should just call him Paul. Paul saying, no, let's not do it. You know, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. What if nobody watches, you know, whatever. And I just was like, I'm buying it. You know what I mean? I'm just buying it. If you don't like it, if it doesn't work, we'll send it back, whatever, you know? And sometimes you just have to believe. You just have to believe, right? Against all odds, you have to just go for the dang thing. And I'm feeling like, and I'm sorry for sharing so much about my personal life. I know some of you don't like it. Some of you say, yeah, you like to hear about it. This is just how I read. I'm just a rambler. And, but yes, I do. I feel really like you are on the precipice of this wonderfully exciting adventure. And really, it feels like it could end up being quite lucrative for you. Now, I want to look over here and just show you, it looks like we have the word God again. C-O-D. Now, it kind of looks like COD. It kind of also looks like Call of Duty. And that's in my mind. I recently have been wanting to play that game, figuring out how to play. I'm so bad with video games. I can't even figure out how to start the game all the way. Like, I got the profile set up, and now maybe even tonight I'll be able to check it out. I don't know. But it does. It looks like it's a capital G on this one, but it looks like it says God again. And I really do. I feel like the universe is smiling upon you, Sagittarius. I really feel like there is just this energy that it is rising. It is rising. There's an excitement. There is a feeling of looking forward for your days to begin. Not that like grumbly Monday, like, I have to get back to it. We're back on the schedule, back to the routine, you know, all of that. I can't believe I have to get up, and it's hard to sit up and get your feet on the floor, and you just sit at the edge of the bed staring at the wall for 15 minutes, mustering up the courage to get out and do some things. No, that's not. I see you flipping the blanket over, twinkle toes across it, just absolutely dancing. Excited about the day. Yes, and that's wonderful. These are the great blessings of our life. Now, finding something that you can do to make money, that is a blessing. But you know what's even more of a blessing? Being happy that you are here, that you are alive, and you have a whole day, a blank canvas in front of you, and you're going to put your all into it. Now that is the real blessing. Absolutely. All right, let's take a look. Oh, we have the name Ivy, or maybe it is Ivy No, yeah, IVY. Ivy. It could be a name. It could be ivy as in, you know, the stuff that grows. Now, I've always loved ivy on buildings. That has nothing to do with anything, but I want you to know that. I've always wanted to live in New England because, oh my gosh, the old brick with like the ivy going up. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It's so beautiful. But yes, it could be the name ivy. It could be something to do with some kind of ivy. If you live somewhere that's still warm enough to have poison ivy out, be careful. That's no fun. Not at all. I've been lucky never to get a rash from poison ivy. I have from poison oak, but not the ivy. I've read, though, that it can be very painful. Okay, so let's see. It looks like a farewell, or at least like a see you later, kind of coming up pretty soon here. We have two people, one here, one over here, kind of waving to one another. So I feel like it's kind of a saying, I'll see you later. Maybe somebody going on a trip or moving, or maybe they've left the workplace that you're in, something. But I do see this being a little bit of a sad event, not feeling the best about it, but I also think that there will be a swift reunion. I feel like you will continue to communicate and maybe even be closer because of this space. Okay, and it's funny how that can happen sometimes, you know? You're like worried, oh, we're going to be working in, you know, different buildings now, or, you know, whatever, and not seeing each other as much. And then you end up being really close friends because you're making up for that time that you would just kind of have together, you know, because of your scheduling and all of that. So, yes, sounds good. Sounds nice. All right, we're gonna do our 3 lucky numbers. 3 lucky numbers. Oh, number 5. Okay, number 5. 53. 5, 53. 53. Okay. All right. You want to keep going to the same ones. Okay. So we have 5, 53, 53. These are our lucky numbers. Okay. And we're going to end with our Wild Offering Oracle cards. And I'm just going to flip through. Stop where it feels right. And we have gratitude. Yes, always one of my favorites. This is one of the secret keys to a happy life, right? Find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now. And let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm, like a warmth of the sun. A healing balm, like the warmth of the sun. Oh, one of my favorite memories of being young. And I don't have a ton of memories of my childhood, but I used to go up on the Feather River, which is in Northern California. And we'd go up towards like Lawson and Shasta, way up that way. But stop along the river to fish and swim and, you know, all this kind of thing. And the feeling of being in, basically, if you look up the river, up in the mountains, in the Sierra Nevadas, the canyons are beautiful and deep and vast, and at the bottom there's the river. And so it's like a really kind of dark area when you get down in there, because usually, you know, the sun, unless it's right above you, there's a lot of shade because you're in kind of a crevasse of a sort, and there's a lot of trees, right? And I remember sitting out on these big flat rocks next to the river, wet because I had been swimming. and cold because it was cold, because the water was cold. And just the sun coming down, just sitting in that warm sun, heating up in this beautiful, beautiful place, this cathedral, right? Then that's what it feels like to be in a cathedral. What a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And that is gratitude, right? Gratitude is that warmth that we look for in life. And so if we can intentionally employ our gratitude, we're living a pretty good life. And if it feels like we're not, we will find reasons why there's some goodness there, right? Okay, so Sagittarius, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do love you so much. And I thank you for spending your time, your valuable time with me. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, definitely do that. I love hearing from each and every one of you. And yeah, that's it. All right. I love you. I love you. I love you. And we will talk soon. Good night.